Fe- Federal Election Campaign established Federal Election Committee (FEC), imposed limits on personal spending, imposed limits on individual and candidates' contributions, imposed limits on candidates' imposed disclosure rules. Candidates, PACs must disclose donors. Rules still apply to 501c groups, make rules almost meaningless, provide for public financing of presidential campaigns. Limits too low now, not used much.
Buckley v. Vallejo, 1976. FECA ban on how much campaigns spend and how much candidates give to their own campaigns is unconstitutional. Government can restrict individual contributions to political campaigns. Upholds disclosure rules. Express advocacy words established. Buckley v. Vallejo leads to court distinguish express advocacy ads. Express advocacy ads must be paid for by regulated money. That means organizations sponsoring express advocacy have to comply with federal laws restricting the size of individual donations, bearing corporate and union contributions, and requiring public disclosure of their contributors.
The Bipartisan Campaign Finance Reform Act of 2002, McCain-Feingold, bans soft money and express advocacy ads from independent organizations that clearly identify candidates 60 days before general election. The result was the emergence of 527s and 501cs. The response to McCain-Feingold was 527s became unregulated and tax-exempt interest groups used to avoid limits on PACs. Super PACs are an example of 527s, and they could not engage in express advocacy, which the Citizens United now permits express advocacy for 527s, 501cs, corporations, and unions. However, 527s must disclose names of their donors. The SpeechNow.org versus FEC 2010 court case struck down limits on how much a contributor may give to a PAC that does not contribute to a candidate. Corporations and unions now are free to contribute to them in any amount, although disclosure laws do remain. The Citizens United versus the FEC case in 2010 declared that the government may not prohibit unions and corporations from making independent expenditures for political purposes. This struck down limits on express advocacy ads by corporations and unions. Corporations are people and have First Amendment rights, and money equals free speech. And that independent expenditure-only committees can spend an unlimited amount of money for political purposes as long as they do not coordinate directly with candidates or political parties. The McCutcheon v. FEC case in 2014 involved Sean McCutcheon, an Alabama resident who donated money to all the Republican National Committee, other Republican committees, and individual candidates. He wished to donate more in amounts that would be permissible under the base limit but would violate the aggregate limit. McCutcheon and other plaintiffs sued the FEC, arguing that the aggregate limit violated the First Amendment by failing to serve a cognizable government interest and being prohibitively low. The district court held that the aggregate limit served government interest by preventing corruption or the appearance of corruption and was set at a reasonable limit. The response to disclosure laws and Citizens United are as follows. 501cs are non-profit and tax-exempt and must be primarily engaged in social welfare, prohibited from actively engaging in politics as its primary function, and can give to other 501cs or C4 groups or super PACs, 527s. They don't need to disclose their donor names, aka dark money, and they have unlimited spending rights.